If what the president's saying is true, that's encouraging. But of course, we've heard the president say things that are proved to be completely untrue in the past. So we really don't know what to believe, whether these talks are serious, whether they're close to any agreement, or whether this is Donald Trump just trying to bring down the price at the pump, something he is very sensitive to because he's getting a lot of backlash from around the country.
That was Democratic Senator Adam Schiff of California weighing in on President Trump's comments yesterday about productive talks between the U.S. and Iran. Again, still a lot unclear about who's in those talks and what actually is happening in them. I want to bring in now on set with me Democratic Congresswoman Debbie Dingell of Michigan. Congresswoman, I know you spend a lot of time at home talking about the impact of what's happening here in Washington. And I can't help but wonder what you're hearing when it comes to the fact that DHS is still shut down, and then also the fact that gas prices at the pump continue to rise amid a conflict in the Middle East that the administration didn't do much to sell to the American public, and that remains pretty unpopular when you look at polling.
Gasoline prices are, between leaving Sunday and getting home last Friday, they had gone up 30 cents at one gas station, 20 cents at the other, the $4, $3.99 and 9 cents. So they're up, and people are unhappy because people are already struggling, Allie. They're having a hard time. Their dollars aren't going as far as they were at the grocery store, housing costs, utility bills sky high, and now they've got these gasoline bills. And you already know that they know it's because of a war in Iran they don't understand. And I think it's simply going to get worse.
You know, I think one of the things that I've been hearing from Republicans, including on this show on Friday, is the idea that all of those cost issues exist. The new one is rising gas prices because of the war in Iran, and that if this conflict wraps up in the next 2 to 3 weeks, it's a long road between now and November. Maybe it's less of a pinch in the minds of voters. Do you feel that, or is this going to persist?
Well, first of all, no one quite knows what to believe. I mean, honestly, you get different stories from different people in the administration, different cabinet members. The president is on himself. The president himself contradicts himself several times a day, let alone a week. So war's almost over. The war's not. We're sending 5,000 troops over. We're not going to put boots on the ground. We want $20 billion to pay, or $200 billion to pay for a war. So American people don't know why we went to this war. What is our plan to get out? Are we going to put boots on the ground? They don't have any facts, and they're worried and scared because I do believe most people in this country do not want another endless war in the Mideast that's going to put our young men and women at risk.
That's also the way that they heard President Trump campaign as a candidate, with a very non-interventionist mindset.
No more forever wars.
Exactly. I mean, that was pretty central to the America First agenda that he laid out. I do, as you bring up that $200 billion potential supplemental to aid military replenishment, is that coming? Do you have an understanding that that's...
You know, again, it's like everything. You get, you hear things are going to come. Is it fact? Is it not? Now you're hearing the exact same things that I am hearing, that they were at the White House last night. They're talking about reconciliation packages, putting that amount of money into something that would fund ICE. Will we this week? I want to make it clear. Republicans have voted against funding TSA, FEMA, Coast Guard 7 times in the last few weeks. Democrats have a discharge petition to pay everybody inside Homeland Security except for ICE, which, by the way, already has money running it from the big bad bill. So we do need guardrails on ICE, period. I don't care what anyone says, but TSA is struggling and hurting. And I spend a lot of time with those men and women back home.
When you hear the contours of this deal that sounds likely, that they hashed out at the White House last night, that Democrats and Republicans have been going back and forth on, it sounds like there are some guardrails being proposed, maybe judicial warrants that came up during the DHS Secretary's confirmation hearing just last week. It doesn't sound like there's yet been progress on wearing masks. That was another key stipulation for Democrats. Do you think that there's enough there in this potential new deal to get some Democrats on board? Or?
I think warrants are very critical. Those are one of the most fundamental principles of the Constitution. I'm getting mixed signals on the masks. You know, I asked on Sunday, ICE is going into airports. Are they going to wear masks? They did not wear masks yesterday. I didn't notice what they accomplished of anything.
Yeah.
But the masks weren't on the ICE officers. So is there openness? I've heard both sides again. There are a lot of rumors, and that's the problem. You don't even, there's so many rumors, but you'll even hear statements from principals that you don't know if the principal's right or wrong.
Yeah, and when you and I talk about principles, we're really talking about the key players, the central people, the secretaries, the president, the senators, the lawmakers like yourself. And so I think you're right. The Hill is a place that runs on rumor until you actually see it in written text. And we don't have this written text yet.
None.
But can you take us inside a little bit, the way that House Democrats are looking at what Senate Democrats are negotiating? Do you feel that they're on the same page?
I think that Democrats have been very solid in the Senate and the need to have guardrails, serious guardrails for ICE. And they have not caved. Many of the ones that have voted the other time, we all share that concern. I think Democrats also share the concern about TSA that's not being paid. And I really do want to find a way that they're not a ping pong ball. I've introduced legislation 2 Congresses in a row to get them out of being that ping ball. So I think, we've got a meeting, I can't remember which day, with Senate Democrats. And I think we're trying to all stay on the same page. I think the interesting question is going to be, President said you shouldn't go home without doing this. The Republicans in the House are kind of saying that, though I can't imagine Mike Johnson trying to keep his caucus here beyond Friday. Or the president says he'll feed the senators for Easter Sunday dinner. What's this all mean? Where is it going?
Some of them like the invitation for Easter Sunday. Others of them are like, I got other places I'd like to be.
Members don't like it. They want them home.
That's exactly right. Democratic Congresswoman Debbie Dingell of Michigan, always giving us the inside track. Thank you, as always, for coming on.